Hi guys, Dr. Mel here. We're busy with the energy specifically in chemical reactions. And you are going to use the energy in that we call activation energy and the energy release to form the product again. And you're going to use it when you do grade 12 and grade 11 work in terms of the reaction mechanism. So be careful that you do not think this is a small part of the work. It's crucial that you understand the catalyst, the role of the catalyst, and then the reaction as it takes place. Any chemical reaction. It doesn't matter what it is. Is it a metal with an acid? Is it redox reaction? It is all the same mechanism. So we're going to have a look at a catalyst and specifically the graphs. And this is basically a summary of the work that we've done in all the other lessons. So again, the same little picture that we had in the previous lessons. We've got reactants this side, and we need to break the bonds that we already have there. Now, the example that we chose was this is EH2. This is the H2, and we've got Cl2 there, and I've got to break that bond as well. So, to form on this side Cl with an H, I need firstly to break bonds and I need to release energy again. Now you'll know to break anything, you'll need energy. You've got to pull them apart, and that we call activation energy. And if you actually listen to the previous lessons, you'll know this is a state which we call the activated complex. And it's an in-between phase. You won't write it in a chemical equation, but you'll have to know. First break the bonds, then go there, all very agitated, they've got lots of energy, then release energy, and then to form the product. So reactant to product is what you're going to write down in any chemical equation, but in your mind, you've got to see you actually have that activated complex in between. Right, so we're putting in energy in all chemical reactions. We call that activation energy, and I'm just going to refer back to a previous lesson. It's E because it's energy, and it's A because it's activation. We did potential energy, we did kinetic energy. These we did in physics as well as in chemistry, but specifically when we do chemical reactions, we work with activation energy. And remember then, there will be energy released to form new bonds. So to form a new bond, you actually release energy. And remember, they will move closer to each other here. And in the previous one, it was something like that. So you'll see I get two new molecules formed. So that's the product. Again, we've got a graph. We can do any graph if we know what's on the x and the y axis, and the y axis where we work with energy changes will be the potential energy. Potential energy, in my mind, remember we did MGH in physics, is usually the distance between or it's a part of the distance. The distance is a part of the variables in the potential energy. So here I start with the reactants with a certain amount of energy. I then add, can you remember what's this energy? The activation energy. So I add that. What we actually do is we break bonds. So we break the bonds that's existing. Then we get to this part here. This is the activated complex. It's the highest point, it's the maximum energy that it has, and then you'll see it will release energy to form the product at the bottom. So that's the changes in energy. And if we go back to the concept of distance, here they are a certain distance apart, and here they are a certain distance apart. Right, if we just quickly clear this slide, you'll see it starts up here and it ends down there. What does it mean? This is energy in, and that is energy out. So it's more out and less in. And what type of graph does that resemble? You need to know this, people. You have to know that this is more out, so it's exothermic. And other than exothermic, there's two other definite questions that they'll ask you. They will want you to identify what is the delta H. That's the difference where it started there and where it ended here. And can you see it's down? So it's a negative delta H. And implying that in a chemical reaction, you will then say the reactance is the products plus energy, exothermic. And if we quantify this, I want to give values so that you can see where we're going to apply this. I'm going to give a value here of 100 kilojoules. Then we're going to take it up to 200 kilojoules, and we're going to go down to 50 kilojoules. So if I say I started with 100 there, can you see 100 there? The product has 50. What do you think is the difference between this 100 there and this 50 there? Well, it's 50. And that's the delta H, which I'm going to add this side. 50 plus 50 equals 100. It's at the product side because it's exothermic. Let's go and have a look at this graph. Can you see there? I've got the product higher than the reactant. The name of this type of reaction is an endothermic reaction. What does it mean? I added more than was released. Let's actually quantify that. I've got reactants here at 100. I've got products there at 150. And I've got the activated complex at 200. So it's reactants, it's 100, plus the difference here. Now let me do that in another color. The difference is 100 and 150. You can see it's plus 50. So delta H is plus. I'm going to add that 50 here, the energy, to get the product. So when it's endo, you adding at the reactant side, and when it's exo, I'm adding at the product side. Guys, that's crucial. If you get your exam paper and you tend to forget, quickly draw these two graphs. It'll take you 2 seconds. What do I know? Delta H here, negative. What do I know here? Delta H, positive. How do I write my equation? Reactance is product plus energy, exo, at the end. How do I write this side? Well, it is reactance plus the energy becoming the product. I can tell you now, you cannot do equilibrium if you do not know where the energy will be, because the influence of temperature is exactly this energy, and it's crucial that you understand exo and endothermic and what does the delta H mean, and where does it fit into the chemical equation. Finally, when we have a look at a catalyst, you'll see the original endothermic was there. The catalyst, on the other hand, had an alternative part. It's not changing the reactants, nor does it change the product. It's merely shortening the path, so it's making the activation energy. Can you see there? The activation energy is much lower than the one it was there. Let's have a look at the exo. There's the exothermic reaction. There's the activation energy. What does this catalyst do? It goes there and it's shorter route, alternative route. You need to know what the catalyst does. I'm now going to change the forward reaction to explain to you if they ask the reverse reaction. Remember, we will get an equation like hydrogen plus oxygen can form water. That can be one of the reactions. Now that's the forward reaction. We could also get the reverse reaction, meaning 2H2O can form hydrogen and oxygen, which will mean, let me write it in a pen that we can see what I'm writing. We can actually find that reaction. And I'm going to balance it. So what does the graph do with forward and reverse reactions? Well, firstly, the graph as it's here, as it's given to you, is usually, well, not usually, it's always the forward reaction. If I have a look at the reverse reaction, now the product of this reaction was H2O. The reactants is H2 and O2. If I now have a look at the reverse reaction, where I start with the water, I'm now going to move from here up to there. Did you see I'm going from right to left? This will now be my activation energy. This will now be my energy released, and this will now be my delta H. And why is it different? Well, then this is higher than this, so the reverse reaction is an exothermic, whereas the forward reaction was a endothermic. Be careful. They often ask questions for the reverse reactions instead of the forward reaction. So you need to know, then I start here, I go up there. This is then my activation energy. This is the product, and this is the reactant. It's not difficult. It's just taking care, reading carefully and answer accurately. Right. Can you identify the changes? Do you know the different energies? Can you identify exo and endothermic reactions? Within that, you have to be able to identify the enthalpy. Guys, the enthalpy, the delta H, the change is positive there and negative there. I can draw every graph, it'll be exactly the same. And you have to know that when I use a catalyst, I'm actually giving it an alternative path, lowering the activation energy. On the internet, you can find Science Clinic notes. There's a few other open sources, Siavula for instance, and you'll find many textbooks with questions and exercises. Go and have a look at the type of questions and how they ask it. Enjoy energy in chemical reactions. It's really very nice. Bye-bye.